I've always known my destiny. Some search for years trying to find their place in the world. Others never truly find their calling. But not me. I knew from the moment I was born to two guardians, the most powerful warriors in my pack, that I was meant to be a warrior. A guardian. My parents were fated mates, short for soulmates. Two halves of the same soul. Most werewolves strive to find their mate, the one that completes them. While there are some that see the mate bond as a weakness and instantly reject their mates when they find them, most only get stronger. That's how it was with my parents. The mate bond made them stronger, and they were a powerful couple. As guardians and the strongest, most powerful fighters in our pack, my parents were responsible for ensuring the safety of our Alpha Anders, his mate, Luna Callista, and their young son, our future Alpha Rik. It was during an attack from a neighboring pack that thought they could defeat our Alpha and take over that I lost my mother. She died protecting our Luna and their son. I was only 5 years old at the time. During that same battle, my father, while protecting our Alpha, took on 5 of the 8 wolves that attacked our Alpha. They both held their own until other warriors came to assist. However, at the moment my mother died, and he felt the tether of his link to her break, my father faltered. One of the wolves jumped onto his back trying to bring him down. When he couldn't, he bit down on my father's back, snapping his spine. Werewolves can heal from many things: cuts, bruises, even small breaks, but not paralyzing spinal injuries. From that day on, my father became a shell of his old self. While most wolves would have died at the loss of their mate, my father survived solely to care for me. He has done his best and he loves me, but he lost so much that day. He not only lost his mate, he lost his ability to walk and his status as a warrior. He lost himself. Chapter 2. As I walk through the halls of my high school in between classes, my fellow warriors call out to me. I wave and acknowledge them in response. Jason, my best friend, jogs to catch up to me. Hey little badass, what are you doing after school? Jason, don't call me that. I hate that name. Well, I've got news for you. The whole squad is calling you little badass after that stunt you pulled yesterday, so you better get used to it. I stop in my tracks and look at Jason. Tell me you're joking. By the look on his face, I see he's not joking. Well, shit. Anyway, he continues, after school? All right. I'm doing my usual, hanging out with Dad. And by hanging out you mean training? That's your secret, right? You get to train with the biggest badass that this pack has ever known. I stop and look at my longtime friend. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Alpha Rik with his entourage of females. I see the harem continues to grow. I nod my chin in Alpha Rik's direction, ignoring Jason's question about training with my dad. He's right, I do train with my father. Every day. I know my path. It's been set for me since the day I was born. My job is to be the strongest, fastest, most powerful warrior in the pack, better even than my mom and dad. My legacy is to one day protect the Alpha, just as my father did. My only problem with that is our future Alpha doesn't even know who I am. What kind of Alpha doesn't know the daughter of the man and woman that are the sole reason that he and his family are alive? My parents' sacrifices are the reason he is able to be the man whore he chooses to be. And lucky me, one day I get to protect that piece of an Alpha. Don't get me wrong, I understand the Alpha's desire to show off how great he is. It's what Alphas do. And if I'm being honest, Alpha Rik has it all. Midnight black hair that he wears nearly to his shoulders. His full beard and mustache trimmed in a long stubble. And those eyes, a startling color of blue, like a glacier, that stand out in his tanned skin. His broad, muscular arms and shoulders sit well on his 6 feet 4 inches frame, which slides into a sharp V at his waist, sliding into narrow hips, rounded out by strong, muscular legs that pants and jeans can't hide. Every unmated female of age in our pack, and every other nearby pack, hopes that they have a chance to be our future Luna. And if not the future Luna, at least to have the possibility of becoming the gorgeous Alpha's girlfriend and maybe being taken as a chosen mate, hence the harem. I watch as he stands among his members, showing nothing but arrogance and strength. Even his name means brave. Strong and brave. It's a thing with our Alpha family. The men are all named based on origins, meaning courageous or brave. And so far, it's true. Our pack is strong, one of the largest and definitely the strongest in the country. Our Alpha is a powerful force, leading by example. But he's also kind and fair, exactly what you want in the leader of your pack. Our future Alpha, however, well, let's just say the jury is still out on that one. He's definitely strong. I've watched him train, he's a beast. Alpha genes will do that for you. Unlike me, I have to be smarter and work harder than any Alpha if I'm going to be his protector. Not only that, but I'm a relatively small female in my slight, fit 5 feet 4 inches frame. But that just means that my opponents tend to underestimate me. My fellow warriors have learned that I'm not an easy target. I've defeated all of them at one time or another. I've earned their respect, along with Alpha Anders. He provides our training in the morning before school, which is when I attend. The afternoons, when the other warriors train with Alpha Rik, I train with my father. I, however, refuse to be one of Rik's crowd of admirers. Maybe it's my own arrogance, but I will most likely be his guardian someday. I have no wish to be just another mark on his bedpost. And really, have some respect if not for yourself, at least for your future mate. We all have a mate out there. And I have no intention of offending my future mate by being in a long line of short relationships, or worse, a long-term, serious relationship with someone else. I've chosen my fated mate before I've even met him. It's a good thing we're in agreement on this one. My wolf Artemis says, I wouldn't forgive you if you offended our mate. I can't wait to turn 18, so we can find him. My wolf is much more excited about finding our mate than I am. Once I turn 18 and step up as guardian, I will have to spend an inordinate amount of time in Rik's presence. Unless, and this is key, I meet my mate and he is from another pack. Then my allegiance moves to that Alpha. It's because of this that I know Alpha Anders really hopes that my mate is from our pack. My father and I are the biggest reason that our pack is the strongest in the country. However, I've been flirting with the Alpha of the Shadow Falls pack, Alpha Liam, for nearly a year now. He is a bit older than I am, at 24. He hasn't met his mate yet, and he knows that I'm waiting for mine. He's been respectful of my decision, but persistent in his attention. I realize I've zoned out, and Jason is still talking to me while I've been staring at Alpha Rik. Suddenly, he must feel my eyes on him as he looks right at me, his ice blue eyes staring holes into my soul. It's like a buzz of electricity. What was that? I feel Artemis purring in my head. Artemis? What the hell? I honestly don't know. Maybe it's because he's an Alpha? Seriously? Not you too. It's instinct. I can't help it. I shut her out and drag my eyes away from the magnetic pull that is Alpha Rik to turn my attention back to Jason. I'm sorry. What was that? Cara, are you even paying attention to me? I said, yes. The harem continues to increase in size as Alpha Rik gets closer to his 18th birthday. You know they are all hoping they will be his mate. Yes, but there can be only one, I say, giving him my best Highlander impression. Jason is a sucker for old-school Highlander movies. Good one, he says, wrapping his arm around my neck and dragging me off to my next class, which is also his class. We pass a couple other pack mates who all call me Little Badass. Great, Jason wasn't kidding. Just accept it, Cara. If the nickname fits. Yeah, fine, not like I have much of a choice anyway. That's the spirit. So, anyway, back to my original question. Which was, I ask, dragging out the was. Seriously, Car? I asked what you were doing after school. Oh right, sorry. Well, it's Thursday. You know Alpha Anders always comes and has dinner with my dad and I on Thursdays. So, after training, I'll be making dinner, then homework. Ever since I can remember, Alpha Anders comes to have dinner with my father on Thursdays. I think it's his way of showing his appreciation for my father's sacrifice. Honestly, it's gone a long way to helping my father stay connected to the pack. After my mother died, and Dad lost the use of his legs, he asked Alpha Anders if we could leave the pack. I think he wanted to try to live among humans. Instead of agreeing to let us leave, Alpha Anders had a house built on the edge of the pack territory. That way, we're still pack members, but Dad doesn't have to be involved in all of the pack activities, see the warriors training or wolves running in the woods surrounding our pack lands. We are still under the protection of the pack, and we help to monitor our portion of the northern boundary. It gives my dad a sense of purpose within the pack, or at least I think it does. I forgot it was Thursday, Jason replies. Well, are we still set for clubbing tomorrow night? Yep, always ready to blow off some steam. Excellent. I sigh as we walk into class. Chapter 3. Only a few months left of school, and I'm done. I'll turn 18 in a couple of weeks, and if all goes well, I'll meet my mate, and then Dad can hand over the title of Alpha to me after I graduate. I meet up with Chase, my best friend and my future beta, when I walk into the kitchen of the pack house. Hey man, what's up? Morning Alpha, how's it hanging? He asks me with a smirk. Bastard must have seen Sheila sneaking out earlier. I smirk back as I sip my coffee. No blue balls here. He laughs outright. Yeah, you know if your mom catches you. He doesn't have to finish a sentence. We both know my mother would skin me alive. She wants me to wait for my mate. She won't, I reply. What were you doing up so early anyway? He takes a sip of his coffee, looking sheepish before answering. No blue balls on me either, my friend. But at least I'll walk the girl to her car. I smile at my best friend before grabbing my keys, ignoring his jab. You riding with me today? Yep, he answers as he follows me out. The ride to school is short. It's on the border between our pack lands and the Shadow Falls pack. It's about a 15-minute drive from the pack house where Chase and I live. He lives on the 3rd floor with his family, the beta's floor. I live on the 4th floor with my parents, the space allotted for the Alpha family. Our Gamma family lives on the 2nd floor. The floors for the ranked wolves are all on the left side of the pack house. The right side also has rooms on the 2nd through 4th floors for guests and unmated warriors that choose to live here rather than in a separate home. The 1st floor has a large kitchen and dining room along with a rec room, living room and conference rooms for when we have large gatherings in the pack. Omegas who choose to live in the pack house are provided housing on the 1st floor as well. Our pack, the Canyon Ridge pack, is the 2nd largest in the country with well over 500 pack members. And even though we're not the largest, we are by far the strongest. My father is a powerful alpha. I am a strong and powerful alpha heir, and technically we have 2 guardians, although I've never met the daughter of the man and woman that saved my family's life. I've heard the stories my entire life. My mother created a memorial for Lily Nelson, the guardian that gave her life to save both my mother and me. She visits the memorial at least once a week to leave fresh flowers and, as she says, to let Lily know that her sacrifice is not forgotten and was not in vain. I say my own silent thank you to Mrs. Nelson, and I promise to look after Cara for her. My father has dinner with Clint Nelson every week. I've attempted to join my father, but he says this is his time with Clint. Even my mother does not join them. Dad has been trying to get Clint to become more active in the pack for years, even offering him a position as lead trainer for our warriors, but he won't budge. Somewhere along the line, he was labeled as the Broken Warrior. While my father threatened to punish anyone that called Mr. Nelson by that name, it didn't matter. The name stuck. I can understand why. He was the best warrior in our pack, and now he's a paraplegic. He's been in a wheelchair for nearly 13 years. He and his daughter live right on the edge of our pack lands, and the entire pack has been ordered to give them space. The daughter is around my age, according to my mother. I guess she spends all her time taking care of her father. We pull into the school parking lot and head into school. Chase and I are immediately surrounded by females. They are all hoping to be the next Luna or beta female. Most would just be happy to say they slept with one or both of us, and we're happy to oblige. However, I would never take any of them as my Luna, unless she was my fated mate. But I'd be hard-pressed to take a mate that had happily slept with me, and or my beta, and who knows how many other men. Is it a double standard? Yep. Do I care? Nope. Hey Rick, got any plans for the weekend? A redhead asks. I think her name is Jessica, and I'm pretty sure she has slept with both Chase and I. One look at Chase, and I know I'm right. Not yet, why? Well, my friends and I are going to Dark Moon on Friday, and we were hoping you and Chase would like to join us. It'll be a lot of fun. She tries to give me a seductive look, and I know what kind of fun she's referencing. I look at Chase again, and I can see we're in sync. Yeah, I think we can make it. Her face lights up like I just gave her the best present ever. Excellent. Her friend leans into me. You won't regret it, she whispers to me. I look at her friend. I'm sure I won't. They turn down one of the side hallways, Jessica walking backward. See you later, Alpha, Beta. I winke her, later. As Chase and I head to class, he looks over at me. Well, that sounds promising. I smile at him. Definitely. After lunch, Chase and I are surrounded by a group of friends, and even more females. The girls are all chatting away about going dancing tomorrow night. Now it looks like half of my pack and half of the Shadow Falls pack, our neighboring pack, led by Alpha Liam, are all going to the club tomorrow night. I feel like someone is watching me and I look up and I'm locked into the most beautiful green eyes. My breath catches and I forget how to breathe for a minute. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Beautiful brown hair with big thick curls, eyes like emeralds, and a mouth made for kissing. My wolf, Kai, sits up and tries to push forward. Kai, what's going on? I don't know, I like her, he responds, and I swear he's wagging his damn tail. Since Kai has never shown an interest in any female, this is surprising. I turn to my future beta. Chase, who's that girl? I nod my head in her direction as I see a guy wrap his arm around her neck, and the two of them walk off together. I have to clamp my mouth shut as Kai tries to growl. Seriously, Kai, what the fuck? I want to meet her. Go introduce yourself. That boy is no match for us. We're alphas. Dude, calm down. We're in the middle of school. I push him into the back of my mind when Chase responds, You mean the brunette? No idea, but she's definitely your type. She's got that curly hair you go for. He's right, I love it when a girl has their hair in those loose curls. And hers looks like silk. He looks back at me. Want me to find out? He asks. Nah, I'll just ask her myself when I see her again. I give him a grin that says that I'll have her eating out of my hand by the end of the day as the bell rings, and we all head to our next class. Chapter 4. I finish out my school day and head for my locker. Jason is my ride today, as we take turns driving to school. This is his week. I'm rearranging my books to take home what I need for my homework when a shadow falls over my locker. I look up into the glacial blue eyes of Alpha Rik. Great. What does my future alpha want? I rein in my impatience and aggravation. No use pissing off the one I'll most likely be bound to for my entire life. I take a deep breath. Alpha, how can I help you? Personally, I think I did a great job of acting uninterested while still being polite. Hey there, beautiful. I don't believe I've seen you around before. Seriously? This is his opening line? Like we haven't gone to the same schools our entire lives? I put on my best fake smile. I guess you haven't. It's a bit hard to see past all of your adoring fans. I close my locker and lean my shoulder against it, facing him. I decide to have a little fun and bat my eyes. You are an alpha, right? I ask, making sure to give him my best wide-eyed, starstruck look. I am, sweetheart, but don't let my aura intimidate you. I hear it can be a bit overwhelming. Wow. This guy certainly thinks highly of himself. Even Artemis snorts in my head. The joke's on him. Guardians are completely immune to the alpha aura or command. My father says it's because, in the past, alpha started to care too much for their guardians, so they would command them to stand down in a fight, allowing their alpha to be injured or even killed. Over time, the alpha command no longer worked on us. I guess I won't ever have to worry about that with this alpha, not like he even knows who I am or appreciates my family's sacrifice. And while I can feel Rick's aura, it washes right over me. But I have no intention of letting this douchebag know who or what I am. Oh wow. I bring my hand up to my heart as if I'm trying to hold my palpitations at bay. It's really nice to meet you. Artemis snickers in my head. Laying it on a bit thick, aren't you? Maybe I am, but honestly, an alpha should know his pack members. It would be insulting that he doesn't recognize me under normal circumstances, but the fact that my family has given so much for his and he doesn't even know who I am? Well, it just grinds my gears. He puts his hand out to shake mine. I'm Rik, Alpha Heir of the Canyon Ridge Pack. Maybe you've heard of me? I move my mouth into the most convincing. Oh, I can muster, and attempt to look even more flustered. Oh wow. Nice to meet you. And I shake his hand. What I didn't expect was to feel a jolt, like an electric current going through my hand, making the hair raise up and down my arms. It wasn't unpleasant, but very much unexpected. Rik looked startled for a moment, and I wonder if he felt it too. Weird. Maybe it's static electricity from the locker. He's holding my hand and looking at me expectantly. I'm wondering what he's waiting for, and why he's not letting go of my hand when he finally speaks. It's customary where I'm from to introduce yourself after someone introduces themselves to you. He gives me a charming smile, as if making females speechless is an everyday occurrence for him. And possibly it is. He is surrounded by dimwit followers all day, every day. It can't be that hard to make them speechless. However, I am not one of his merry menagerie, so I'm about to introduce myself when I'm saved by Jason. Hey CA Dash. I cut him off before he can say my name. Hey Jason, do you know Alpha Rik? I ask and give him a glare that I hope he interprets correctly. Jason gives me a what the hell look before turning to Rik. Of course. Alpha Rik is from my pack and is my future alpha. I'm so thankful for Jason right now. He may not know why I am acting stupid, but he's going along for the ride. Alpha, he acknowledges Rik as he inclines his head, showing his neck in submission. Jason. Rik nods his head to Jason. I was just introducing myself to your friend here. He turns back to me. So, sweetheart, what's your name and what pack are you from? Okay, so now I'm getting pissed. He really doesn't have a clue as to who I am. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Jason flinch. Time for me to move this along. What makes you think I'm not from your pack? I raise an eyebrow at him, moving past innocent towards snarky. He looks at me with a typical condescending alpha air, arching his own eyebrow in return. Well, sweetheart, I know every member of my pack, and I don't know you. And now it's time for me to knock that arrogant asshole down a peg or two. I lean into him, putting my hand on his chest. His very cheese-sled and warm chest. Geez, are alphas made of granite? I force myself not to slide my hand over more of his body to see if it's all this hard and sculpted. Head in the game car. I get up on my tiptoes and bring my mouth up toward his ear. Luckily, he takes the hint and leans into me as well so I can whisper in his ear. Well, obviously you don't know every member. And my name isn't Sweetheart. I'm pretty sure I heard his quick intake of breath as I turn on my heel and start to walk away. Let's go, Jay. I need to get home. Once we're in the car, Jason looks at me. Okay, so you want to tell me what that was all about? Why are you letting Alpha Rik think you're from some other pack? I'm not, I insist. I mean, really, Rik started that conversation. He obviously has no idea who I am, and then he's going to stand there and try to tell me he knows every member of his pack. I'm not just going to let that go, Jay. Why should I? He's the future alpha of our pack. If he's going to be arrogant, he should at least be able to back it up. You heard him. He didn't even know I was from his pack. So, why not just tell him? I look at my bestie with my mouth hanging on the floor. Are you kidding me right now? I'm just saying, be careful, Car. He looks at me pleadingly. Of what, Jay? That he might actually realize who I am and be angry at me? It's not like I'm wrong here. And let's be honest, I'm pretty sure if there was a battle, I could take him. Not that Alpha Anders would ever let me fight him. My friend looks at me as he turns down the long, winding road to my house. I'm just saying, you will most likely be attached to his hip at some point. Best not to make him public enemy number one before that. He will find a way to make your life miserable. He has a point. When Rik becomes alpha, if I haven't found my mate, my role as his guardian will officially begin. Then I could be stuck with the Playboy alpha and all of his entourage for who knows how long. I don't even want to think about what I might have to see or hear to spend that kind of time with him. Ugh. Okay, Jason, you're right. If he approaches me again, I'll be nice. My best friend gives me a look that says he doesn't believe me. What? I can play nice in the sandbox. Jason snorts and says, yeah, but only if it's your sandbox and you have all the toys. I shrug. What's your point? He just shakes his head as he pulls up and drops me at my house. See you tomorrow. I wave goodbye and head inside to get ready for afternoon training with my dad. Chapter 5. I don't know every member of my pack. Meaning she's part of my pack? No way. My father has drilled it into my head since I was a pup. Know every member of your pack by name. They are what makes the pack strong. Show them how much you value them as a pack member, and they will always be loyal to you. My head is full of these thoughts as I turn and head out to my car. Who the hell could she be? And I didn't realize it at the time, but she never submitted to me. If she's a pack member, she should have submitted to me like Jason did. So, why didn't that she-wolf submit to me? And fuck, I didn't even get her name. I'm so absorbed in my thoughts that I almost run into Chase. Hey Rik, did you catch her? I look at him and frown. Huh. He looks at me quizzically. The brunette from earlier? Did you get her name and what pack she belongs to? I look at my friend over the top of my car, ignoring his question. Did you recognize her? He frowns at me as he slides into the passenger seat of the car. No, I only saw her from the back. Why? I start the car as I reply. She implied that she's part of our pack. I answer as I look at him. So, what's the problem? He asks me. The problem, I reply through gritted teeth, is that I didn't recognize her. How can she be part of our pack if I didn't recognize her? I look at him as I roll to a stop at a red light. I see the surprise and frustration I'm feeling mirrored in my future beta's face. What do you mean you didn't recognize her? You know everyone in the pack. Hell, I know everyone in the pack. You've made sure of it. The light turns green, and I return my attention to the road as I pull through the intersection. Exactly. How is this possible? I know it's a long shot, but do you think she was lying? Chase asks. I look at him like he's lost his mind. I know it sounds crazy, but there are she-wolves out there that are saving themselves for their mate, and maybe she was worried about offending you, so she lied. It's a thought, until I factored Jason into the equation. She's friends with Jason. Jason Alcove? Yep. They are apparently friends. But she's obviously never been to training. He states it as a fact. He and I run afternoon training sessions, so we would know if she attended training. I drum my fingers on the wheel as I contemplate that I may possibly not know everyone in my pack. Impossible. I've been to every event, every gathering. I provide afternoon training to the pack warriors. Hell, I make sure to have at least one meal a day in the pack house dining room. And I have never, not once, not ever, seen that girl. I wouldn't have forgotten her. Not with that hair, and definitely not with those eyes. Those piercing eyes that were almost as startling as that electric shock I got when our hands touched. What was that? I'd say it was the mate bond, but I'm not old enough to feel that yet, and by my estimation, neither is she. So what was it? So, ask Jason who she is this afternoon during training. Chase suggests. I give him my "are you fucking kidding me" look. First and foremost, I'm an alpha. I don't chase pussy, it comes to me. Second, I don't need to ask a warrior about a she-wolf. I'll figure it out myself. Chase shrugs. Okay, but I'll keep a lookout. And if you get a chance tomorrow, point her out again so I can see her face. Maybe I'll recognize her. I look at my lifelong friend. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I reach out my fist and we fist bump. Hey, I got your back. Always. Now let's go kick some warrior ass. After training, I head back up to my room to shower before heading back down to the dining room. On my way back down, I run into my mother. Rick, how was your day, honey? I lean down to give my mother a kiss, as she's only 5 feet 6 inches. Good, Mom. I'm headed down to dinner. She places her hand on my cheek to hold me in place as I move to walk past her. I'm going to Lily's memorial to lay fresh flowers tonight. Will you be joining me again since your dad will be having dinner with Mr. Nelson? She asks as if it's a question. As if I haven't joined her every week for the past 13 years to lay fresh flowers on Mrs. Nelson's memorial. It's our thing, since my father refuses to let me go with him to see Mr. Nelson, saying that it's their time. I get it, but I'd still like to show my respect to the man that gave so much for my family. I'd also like to meet his daughter. I realize she takes care of him, and is most likely his primary caretaker since Mrs. Nelson passed on, and they only had the one child. But she will be one of my pack members when I take over as Alpha, and I want her to know that the respect that has been shown by my mother and father is also mirrored in me, that she will always have whatever she needs from the pack. I will make sure of it. It's a debt that can never be repaid, but I plan to make sure that the Nelsons never lack for anything. I look at my mother. You ask that as if it's really a question, and I might say no. I raise my eyebrow at her. She laughs and pats my arm. You are so much like your father. Go eat, and then we'll head out. I wrap my arms around her and give her a proper hug. Okay, Mom, see you in a bit. I head down to the dining room. A huge buffet of food is lined up on one wall. I grab a plate and look around, trying to see if the little brunette is here. I'm not surprised, but I am disappointed when I don't see her. I see some of our warriors having dinner, and I head over to join them. Chapter 6. When I arrive home, my father is ready for me. I think when I'm at school, he sets up the training for the evening. He has a variety of training sprints that he puts me through. He mixes it up every day, and I never know what it will be. Sometimes it's focusing on balance in case I lose the use of a leg or arm in battle and have to fight with a broken or injured limb. Sometimes it's sensory deprivation in case I have to rely on my sight or sound only. He's even taken both of those away and had me fight with only my sense of touch, taste, and instincts. That was miserable. I got knocked down more that day than any other. But it's all good training and makes me the best and strongest fighter that I can be. Hey, Dad. I state as I walk over to the table and drop off my backpack before leaning over and kissing his cheek. Hi, honey. How was your day? Good. Classes are getting harder as we head into the end of the year, but it's all good. Still getting straight A's? He asks. My studies are just as important as my fighting skills. You can't just rely on the muscles in your arms and legs, Cara. You have to use the muscle that's in your head as well. He's made sure that I focus my studies on anatomy, physiology, and chemistry. The latter is so if I'm ever poisoned, I can identify the poison and find what I need to heal myself. Some of my training over the years has been to have my father give me poison, so I can see what happens to my body and how I react. He is always very careful to ensure that he has the correct antidote and the pack doctor on alert and ready on speed dial in case something goes wrong. While I don't love those training days and usually feel like crap the rest of the evening, sometimes longer, it is helpful, and my father is always very careful. I've also been developing an immunity to wolfsbane for years. My tolerance is pretty high, I'm nearly immune now, and Dad continues to give me doses every day. My werewolf healing burns it out of my system more quickly the more I become used to it. Today's training session is agility. He's got me set up in an indoor course to complete in my human form. There is another one outside to complete in my human or wolf form. I have to find ways around the obstacles and mines that he lays for me. It's not just a test of my agility but also of my concentration and use of all of my senses to ensure that I'm quick but also cognizant of my surroundings at all times. Today's training includes flying logs to knock me off my feet, an attempt to incapacitate me, slippery and sharp hand and foot holds that are meant to make me fall, so I have to ensure that I can find alternate ways to move forward even if I'm injured. For my wolf form, there are spaces that could trap me, flying knives that I have to dodge or push through the pain if I don't dodge fast enough, and traps that drop from nowhere to try and capture me. Dad and his wolf, Donovan, give both Artemis and I pointers and tricks as we go through our training. Artemis and I are worn out after training, as usual. Head up and shower before Alpha Anders gets here, and I'll get started on dinner. Dad finally releases us from training, and I head up to shower. I stand under the hot water, letting it work on my sore muscles. We're getting stronger every day, Artemis says to me. I smile. Yeah, we are, as evidenced by what happened yesterday. If a wolf could smile, Artemis would definitely be smiling right now. I know it's our legacy to be a guardian, and my mom and dad gave me great genetics to get where I am today, but yeah, we totally kicked ass. I hear the doorbell ring as I finish getting ready, putting on jeans and a comfy sweatshirt, pulling my hair up into a messy ponytail. Alpha Anders is like an uncle to me. Our dinners together became casual a long time ago. I skip down the stairs of our house and go to open the door. Anders. He told me years ago that when he is here for dinner, that I don't need to use his title. After several reminders and getting my father's approval, I finally acquiesced. I step back and let him in. Dad's out back getting the grill going. Can I get you a beer? Thanks, little badass, I'd love one. I roll my eyes. Not you too. I whine to my alpha. He just smiles, saying, if the name fits. Yeah. I'll go join your dad and see if he needs any help. He smirks at me when he says this. We both know my dad won't let him do any of the work, but this is part of their weekly banter. I grab a beer from the fridge, check to see if my dad needs one too, and grab a second one for him. I pop the tops and take them out to our deck. Dad and Alpha Anders are discussing my training over the past week, Dad giving him the updates that he made for my training today. Alpha Anders looks at me and then asks my dad, did Cara tell you she has a new nickname? My dad looks at me and I roll my eyes so far back in my head that I'm pretty sure I see my brain. Well? My dad looks at me expectantly. Apparently my new nickname is Little Badass. My dad's beer stops on its way to his mouth, and he looks at Alpha Anders. Is that so? He asks. He turns his gaze back to me. And what exactly did you do to get that name? Wheelil. I drag out the word, giving Alpha Anders a side-eye glance. She pinned me in 15 minutes. Alpha Anders answers for me. A smile larger than any I've ever seen on my father's face spreads wide, and he looks at me with pride in his eyes. Apparently, the apple didn't fall too far from the tree. Alpha Anders continues. My dad takes a swig of his beer. That's my girl, he says quietly. Alpha Anders looks at my father seriously. Clint, I'll say it again, we really need you at warrior training. I'm willing to beg if that's what it takes. Dad huffs out a breath. Anders, you know I can't. I smile and head back inside. This is a battle that has been going on for years. Alpha Anders wants Dad back on the training field, and Dad feels he won't bring enough to the pack. For dinner, I am in charge of the vegetables. Dad put potatoes in the oven while I was showering, so I check those and start on my roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon and a maple glaze. I'm pulling the potatoes out of the oven and putting the vegetables into a serving bowl when Dad and Anders come back in. I finish putting everything on the table, getting another beer for both men, and we all sit down to eat. Conversation is easy between Dad and Alpha Anders. They reminisce about old days, talk about pack issues, current warriors, and techniques to teach and train younger members. Dad always asks about Luna, Callista, and Rik, and Anders always makes a point to ask me about my day, my life, and what is going on with me. I don't mention my recent interactions with his son. Better that he doesn't know that I'm not Rik's biggest fan. When dinner is over, I pull out the dessert that Anders brought. Callie made her famous brownies for us today, Anders tells us. I set them on the table and moan softly as the taste of chocolate fills my mouth. Luna Callista makes a mean brownie. The table gets quiet as we all enjoy the dessert, and Dad asks Anders to thank Luna Callista for us. When we're done, I clear the dishes and wash up before excusing myself. Before I can give Dad a kiss, Alpha Anders hands me an envelope. This, I believe, is an invitation from my wife for you to attend Rik's 18th birthday party next weekend. To say that she will be disappointed if you don't attend would be an understatement.
Ugh.
I look at the envelope and open it. Yep, it's an invitation for 1 week from this Saturday to attend the big event. I plaster a fake smile on my face and look at my Alpha. I'd love to attend. He smirks at me while Dad laughs outright. Don't look so glum, honey. I'm sure you'll have a good time. Alpha Anders looks at my dad and smiles. I'm so glad to hear you say that, Clint, because I have a special invitation for you to my son's party. And I will take it personally if you do not attend. My father's laughter dies out instantly, and he glares at Alpha Anders. I snicker and look at my dad. Well, I guess you get to be my +1 dad. I say goodnight to Dad and Alpha Anders, and head up to start on my homework. They talk late into the evening, and I'm already in bed when I hear them saying goodbye and Anders telling Dad that he'll see him next week. Chapter 7. Mom and I arrive at the memorial for Lily Nelson. It's not the only one here. We memorialize all of our warriors and pack members that give their lives for the pack. However, Lily's is the largest. Mom had them create a stone statue of a woman with angel wings keeping watch over her wolf pack. Each week, we bring several different types of flowers and plants to the memorial site. This week we have some poinsettias, winter jasmine, winter aconite, and snowdrops. As always, Mom walks up to the statue and places her hand on the joined hands of the statue and quietly says, "Thank you, Lily, for your sacrifice. I told you I'd never forget, and I never will." We begin quietly working around the area, removing snow, pulling out the plants that are dead or dying and replacing them with the new ones that we've brought. Mom, have you ever met the Nelson's daughter? I ask.
Cara?
Sure, honey, haven't you? I look over at her and shake my head. I don't think so. I know I've never been introduced to her. What's she like? My mom continues her work as she answers my question. She's a sweet girl, quiet and smart. She stops and looks up at the statue. She looks like her mother, but has her father's eyes. Lily was a strong and beautiful woman. A soft smile plays on her lips, her eyes seeing a distant memory. She didn't take crap from anyone, including your father. I stop and look at her. What? This was news to me. Mom chuckles as she resumes her work. I remember this one day your father needed some warriors to go with him to another pack that was making threats to ours. He planned to give the pack one last chance to change their mind about going to war by reminding them of the strength of our warriors. Lily was pregnant with Cara at the time, and so your father thought it best if she remained behind. She starts laughing and presses her hand to her stomach as she continues. She told your father that being pregnant didn't make her any less of a guardian, and if he thought that he would be leaving her behind when they were giving a show of strength, then he had another thing coming. He tried to give her his alpha command, which didn't work, so she challenged your father to a battle, saying that if he won, she'd stay, but if she won, he'd stop this and let her go. My mom had started staring off into space again, lost in the memory. I interrupted her silence. So, I'm guessing that he didn't win? My mom started laughing again. Didn't win? Lily had your dad pinned in under 15 minutes. I'd never seen anything like it, before or since. Your father was so strong and sure of himself that he couldn't believe it. Clint just sat back proudly and watched his wife take your father down like it was nothing. So they went to the other pack, Lily included, showing that we not only had a strong alpha but also 2 guardians at full strength, and the other pack's alpha backed down. When they got back, your father assigned her to me, and later to me and you as our guardians. What happened to the other pack? I asked. The alpha was greedy but not smart and definitely not as strong as he thought he was. Soon thereafter, he challenged Alpha Leander knowing that the pack didn't have any guardians and thought that made them weak. Alpha Leander won, the author Alpha was killed, and the pack and lands were absorbed by the Shadow Falls pack. I look at my mother. How had I never heard this story before? Wait, Alpha Liam's father defeated the alpha of the pack that wanted to attack us? Why didn't Dad just fight him and take over the pack? Your father didn't want a war as I was pregnant with you at the time. He was afraid that something might happen to me, you, or both of us, and it was not a risk that he was willing to take, and he didn't need to. At the time, our pack was the largest and strongest in the country. That war with the Shadow Falls pack and the subsequent absorption of the warring pack is what allowed Shadow Falls to become the largest in the country, but we've remained the strongest. They paid a heavy price, though. That was when they lost Leander's mate and Liam's mother, Luna Estella. He was only 6 years old at the time. Leander was never the same after he lost his mate. He held on as long as he could, but when Liam turned 16, he finally gave up and let the goddess take him. Liam has had a hard road and took over as Alpha at a very young age. It's a lot for a young man to take on, but he has handled himself and his pack very well. Your father offered to mentor him, and he was, and is agreeable. It's why we have such a strong alliance with them even today. I couldn't imagine being the alpha of my pack for 2 years already. My life has been relatively easy compared to Alpha Liam's. I'd never given much thought to when he became Alpha. I remember hearing of his father's passing and him taking over as Alpha, but I was only 10 years old then, and didn't think much of it. Now, I couldn't imagine taking over my pack while mourning the loss of my father, having already lost my mother. I mull all this over while we walk back to the pack house. When we return, Mom asks me to join her in her office. This is not good, since that is where I get all my talks. We enter her office and she goes to the sideboard and pours us both a glass of wine. Have a seat, son. I take a sip of wine and look at my mother. Have I done something to upset you, Mother? I ask. Instead of sitting, she stands at her window overlooking the back of the pack house and the surrounding forest. I know about the girls, Rick, she states, but still doesn't look at me. Shit. I thought I was being careful. How did she know? Before I can come up with a response, she turns to look at me. Surprised? I am the Luna of this pack. What kind of Luna would I be if I didn't even know what was going on right under my nose? A smile briefly touches her lips before it's gone again. Honey, you're going to be the alpha of this pack soon. Hopefully, on your birthday, you'll find your mate and you can finally settle down. But, as a woman, I can tell you that you are setting yourself and your mate up for a rough road if you continue to have a rotating door of females from this pack in your bed. Take it from me. The role of Luna is hard enough without having to deal with jealous, spiteful females in your pack trying to find ways to make you look or feel inadequate. I understand you are a young alpha male, but if you're going to continue with this, at least consider females from outside the pack, so your future Luna doesn't have to see your previous lovers daily or worse, hear all about your time with them. This had to be the most uncomfortable conversation I've ever had. I look at my mom, a woman who is kind, loving, gracious, and fiercely protective and loyal to her pack. She is everything a Luna should be, and exactly what I hope my mate is. I reply the only way I can. I hear you, Mother, and I understand what you are saying. You are right, as always. I want my mate to be happy here, and I certainly do not want us starting our life together with any misunderstandings or concern for my previous behavior. She smiles at me as she walks over to give me a hug. I love you, my sweet boy. And yes, you will always be my sweet boy. I smile and hug her back. I love you too, Mom. Before she lets me go, she has one more parting comment for me. And please, as much as I want grandbabies, I want them when the time is right, not with some passing fling. Keep it wrapped up. Mom? I reply, letting all my uncomfortable irritation from this conversation enter my tone. You didn't raise me to be a dummy. And might I remind you that I'm almost an adult. I know how to wear a condom and do, every time. Mom pulls back slightly and looks at me. Okay, honey. Sleep well. You too, Mom. I make my escape before she can say anything else to make me uncomfortable. Chapter 8. The next morning at training, Alpha Anders put me up against 3 of his warriors. I wasn't concerned. Dad has been training me for multiple attackers most of my life. 2 of them will be easy to take down. Trevor, however, will take some work. Next to me and the ranked wolves, he's their best warrior. He's smart in his fighting, not just relying on his strength, which is the mistake that most warriors make with me. Trevor watches his opponent and learns their weaknesses. He's still trying to find mine, but that hasn't slowed him down one bit. I wait until they are in position, putting me in the middle of a triangle between them. I face Trevor, my biggest threat, while keeping the other 2 in my peripheral vision. Trevor comes in first, swinging to punch me in the gut. I quickly duck under his right arm, sliding down to my knees and skidding over to Richard, or the Dick as I call him. I swing my arm as hard as I can up between his legs and crush his family jewels, bringing him down and taking him out. I hear and feel the air whooshing near my head, and I lay back flat on my back, bent at the knees so my feet are still planted on the ground. I see Kent's leg flying over where my head just was. As his body turns with the momentum, I swing my feet up, catching the leg he has planted. I twist my body, pulling Kent down and dislocating his knee in the process. He howls in pain, rolling around on the ground. I swing myself back up, ready for Trevor. He's watching me, calculating. I give him a smirk, waving him forward with my fingers. He fakes like he's going to hit me and then slides, trying to take out my legs. I leap over him, swinging back around to give him a roundhouse to the head, but he ducks, using the move that I just did with Kent. Clever bastard. We go back and forth, both getting in jabs, but not able to take the other one down until I was finally able to throw a punch to his throat. In his moment of shock, I was able to grab his arm and twist it, just to the point before dislocation, bringing him to his knees and forcing him to tap out or have me dislocate his shoulder. The rest of the squad is watching, clapping for my win. I give Trevor my hand and pull him up. Nice job, little badass, but I'm coming for you. He smirks before helping to get the other 2 to the infirmary. I smile back. I look forward to a real challenge one day, Trevor. He barks out a laugh before helping to carry Kent. I look at Alpha Anders, and he gives me a nod of approval. The school day goes by in a blur. I caught Rik looking at me several times throughout the day, but was able to avoid running into him. Of course, his ever-present entourage helped out with that as well. On our way home, Jason starts chatting about our night at the club. Friday nights are our night. The end of the week we go to a local club, Dark Moon. It's in between the Packlands for Canyon Ridge and Shadow Falls, therefore, it's werewolves only. I've been going since I turned 17 almost a year ago. It's a great way to blow off the steam of the week. It's also become the place that I meet up with Alpha Liam. We haven't put a name to what we are. We're definitely friends, but more than that. He knows that I am waiting for my mate, so we're not exactly friends with benefits, but he respects my choice and doesn't pressure me for sexual relationship. He's older than I am by quite a few years, him being 24 and me only 17. But unlike a certain future alpha of my pack, Liam knows who and what I am. He appreciates me for who I am and has left no question that he would be more than willing to take me as his chosen mate. He is also aware that at my age, I haven't been able to potentially find my fated mate, so he is being patient, and I think he's secretly hoping that we're fated mates. In truth, I am too. I like Liam a lot. He's everything an alpha should be. Besides being one of the sexiest men I've ever met, he is intelligent, caring, and he's a strong alpha that takes good care of his pack. It doesn't hurt that he's got the sexiest smolder that I've ever seen, and I'd be lying if I didn't say my lady parts get all hot and bothered when he turns that look on me. After training with Dad, I quickly grab a bite to eat, then head upstairs to shower and get ready. A friend of mine from warrior training, Lacey, calls to make sure I'm going tonight, and to see if she can hitch a ride. I tell her it's Jason's turn to drive, and she agrees to text him. I dress in a pink crisscross top that wraps around my rib cage and ties in the back. I pair that with low-rise black jeans and a matching pink scarf that I use as a belt. I finish the outfit with pink and black color block cutout suede stiletto heels. I leave my hair down and accentuate my natural curls. I go light on makeup since I plan to work up a sweat, but I do put on a smoky eye to make my green eyes pop. I head downstairs as I get a text from Jason that he's out front. I say goodnight to my father and head out. Jason has already picked up Lacey and another warrior from training, Dean. I climb in the back with Lacey. Hey guys, I acknowledge all of them at once. Hey little badass. Take down any more alphas in the last 24 hours? Dean asks with a stupid smirk on his face. Not in the last 24 hours, but the night is young, Dean. I reply. So, Lacey looks at me, expecting to see a super hot alpha tonight? I shrug. Well, yes, I do expect him. He is an alpha, and he has things that are more important than coming to a club on a Friday night and dancing with me. Although, lately, he's also started driving me home, but again, he's a busy man, so I don't count on him being there, although I do hope I see him. I never know for sure, I tell her. But if I was to put money on it, I'd say yes, I expect to see him. I smile at her. Girl, that man is fine. You need to tap that and tell me all about it. I just laugh. I see Jason looking at me in the rearview mirror. I'm not really close to anyone except for Jason, so most people don't know that I'm saving myself for my mate. We arrive at the club and see a long line of people waiting. Jason and I are regulars, so we walk up to the front of the line, and the bouncer lets us in, much to the grumbles and complaints of the others who are waiting. Looking good, little badass, the bouncer says as I walk past him. I stop and turn to him. Seriously? You too? He just shrugs and gives me a smile. I sigh and walk into the club. In werewolf clubs, there is no drinking age. We are different from humans. Our metabolism is much faster, so we burn alcohol quickly, and it takes a lot for us to get drunk. We head straight for the bar and order a round of shots. I'm not a beer drinker, and I'm here to dance, so a shot will get me going. We get our shots, and I pay for the first round. Jason orders another round while I look around. It's crowded here tonight, and I see a bunch of wolves from both local packs and some I don't recognize. I see several girls from school, and I'm just about to turn around for my second shot when I lock eyes with Alpha Rik. Son of a bitch. I swear as I turn around, pick up my shot and clink my glass to Jason's, Lacey's, and Dean's before downing the drink. The burning warmth slides down my throat to my stomach. Jason looks at me. What? Who's here that you don't want to see? He's looking over my shoulder trying to figure out who I'm not happy about seeing here tonight. You're 7 o'clock. He twists his head to his left looking in the direction I've given and whistles low and looks back at me. You think he'll come over here? I shrug and take the shot that Lacey just got for us. Don't care. I'm about to head out to the dance floor. I lean over to shout above the music so Lacey and Dean can hear. I'm going to dance. Anyone coming? Jason says he'll join us in a minute, and Lacey grabs my hand and pulls us into the center of the dance floor. I can feel ice blue eyes on me as I begin to dance. I close my eyes and let the music wash over me as my body starts moving to the beat. Most of the people around me are warriors from my pack, so I know they won't try to hit on me. I can lose myself and not have to worry about anything. Plus, everyone who spends any time in this club on Friday nights knows that eventually Liam will be here looking for me. Lacey leans over to talk above the music. Alpha Rik hasn't taken his eyes off of you since we walked out here. What's up with that? She asks. I shrug, because I honestly don't know. I lean over to her to reply. He sort of hit on me yesterday at school. She leans back and looks at me, her eyes wide, but I motion for her to lean back in. He has no idea who I am. She stops dancing and looks at me.
No. Fucking
way. I shrug and lean in again. He asks me what my name is and what pack I belong to. Her mouth drops almost to the floor. How is that possible? Her head is doing a swivel going back and forth between him and I. Everyone knows who you are. I shrug again. I guess I'm just not important enough for the future alpha to know. She looks back at Rik once more then at me. Well, now I'm Team Liam all the way. I smile back at her. That makes 2 of us. For the next several songs, we just move and dance, no more talking. Periodically, we dance with other warriors, sometimes breaking off in 2s, sometimes dancing as a large group. As the first slow song of the night starts, I motion to Lacey that I'm going for another shot. She nods and follows me to the bar. Chapter 9. All day at school, I watched her. I attempted to approach her several times, but each time, I was either waylaid by one of the girls going dancing tonight, or when I got to where she had been, she was gone. I've never been so aggravated about having girls hanging on me before. I wanted to know who my mystery girl was, and it was really starting to piss me off that I couldn't get to her. By the time I got home, I was in a piss-poor mood, and I took it out on the guys in training. They were all limping and grumbling when training was done. I didn't care, I was still in a bad mood. I didn't have any interest in going to a club tonight, but Chase was adamant that we were going. I guess he'd found some redhead that he was hoping to bring home tonight. I really wasn't interested. I couldn't seem to get a green-eyed brunette out of my mind. Kai had been quiet in my head, but he was just as irritated that I wasn't able to talk to her. I got ready in a pair of jeans and a tight-fitting black shirt, and Chase and I headed out. We got to the club, and the bouncer led us in ahead of the line that was already forming. Walking in, the music was thumping. The place was already packed. Chase and I headed to the bar. Before we even got there, we were surrounded by girls. Chase bought a round of drinks, and we moved to a place on the wall where I could watch the dance floor and pretend to be interested in whatever the girls were saying to me. Chase was flirting with a girl he planned to take home tonight, and some other girl, I think her name was Natasha, was rubbing herself on me like a dog in heat. Another girl had one hand rubbing my ass while the other was stroking Natasha's arm. I guess this was my invitation to a menage. It wouldn't be my first, but I wasn't interested tonight. I was about to push them off me and head back to the pack house when I saw her. She was here. She was hanging out with 3 of my warriors, Jason included. It didn't look like they were together, but I couldn't be sure. I watched as her eyes traveled the room, taking it in, until they landed on me and stopped. That electrical free zone was there again. She averted her gaze and grabbed a shot before talking to Jason. Kai stood up in my head and grumbled, watching their interaction. Easy, Kai, they are acting like friends, not lovers. He continued grumbling, stating, I don't like it. It was then that Jason turned his head and looked at me.
So they were talking about me.
I smiled. I liked that she was talking about me. It meant, at some level, I was in her head. Natasha took my smile as approval for her hand running down my chest, and she proceeded to attempt to slide it under my shirt. I grabbed it before she could, and without looking at her, pushed her hand back to her side. She didn't seem fazed and just leaned into me more. While I'd normally be all in, tonight it just feels desperate. I watched as my mystery girl went out to the dance floor with Lacey. She immediately began swaying her hips to the music. Damn, that girl is hot. I felt my dick getting hard watching her, and Kai started pacing in my head. He didn't like her surrounded by guys while she was wearing that hot-as-fuck outfit and swinging her hips for everyone to see. As I watched, Lacey leaned in and said something to her. She replied, and Lacey looked shocked before looking at me. What the fuck? What was that look? Lacey looked disappointed. In me. Now I'm seriously getting pissed, and I'm about to head out to the dance floor when I see her head off in the direction of the bar where Jason and Dean are still standing. Excuse me, ladies, I say as I push my way through the throng of females. Chase sees me and pushes himself to my side. Everything okay? I look at my friend. I don't know, but I intend to find out. Chase smiles at me. Need a wingman? I start walking away. I'm good. I toss over my shoulder as I move toward her. I'm stopped every couple of steps by girls that want my attention. I smile and gently push them out of my way, but it's taking me too long, and the slow song ends before I can get to the bar where she is doing another shot. She starts walking back out to the dance floor when the DJ announces, "This is for Canyon Ridge's own little badass." My pack members go crazy, my warriors in particular. I see my girl stop, shake her head, and look at the DJ as Who Runs the World by Beyoncé starts playing. She smiles and blows a kiss at the DJ before lifting her hands above her head and joining a bunch of other girls in the center of the dance floor. She obviously knows the song, along with every other girl on the dance floor. They're singing the song to each other, sassing the guys out there watching them, following some of the moves from the video. I lean back against the bar, ordering another beer. As I'm watching, Alpha Liam comes to stand next to me, ordering his own beer. She's something, isn't she? The fuck? Even Liam knows her? Yeah, she is. I answer because I don't want anyone to know that I have no clue who she is while everyone else seems to know exactly who she is. When the tempo picks up and the staccato starts, she starts shaking her ass back and forth so fast it makes my dick instantly stand at attention. I'd love to have her riding my cock like that. Fuck, I need to get myself back under control. Liam gets his beer and takes a swig, still watching my girl. My girl? When did I even start thinking of her that way? But Kai purrs his agreement in my head. The girls have taken over the dance floor, lip-syncing to the guys surrounding them. When the song ends, the girls howl their dominance as the guys blend back in. As I'm watching, my mystery girl sees me. Wait, no. She sees Liam and winks at him.
What? The actual.
Fuck. You're a lucky man to have someone like her in your pack. Liam says to me without taking his eyes off of her. But if I'm being honest, I have every intention of stealing her away as soon as I can. He looks at me as he says the last part. He's dead serious. Kai snarls in my head, telling me that I need to stake my claim on her. Kai, chill out. She's not ours, and he hasn't convinced her to leave. We don't even know if she's our mate. I force him farther back into my head, so I can focus on my conversation with Liam. Liam is an intelligent alpha. If he wants her, there is a reason beyond her being beautiful. Maybe I can get more information from him to figure out who she is. Good luck with that. I haven't lost a warrior to another pack yet, I say, hoping that I will get something more from him. He stops with his beer bottle on his way to his mouth and turns his full attention to me. You have no idea who she is, do you? Shit. Fake it till you make it. Of course I do. She's a warrior in my pack. I say, shrugging as if it's obvious. A smile that promises nothing good for me spreads across his face.
Right.
Well, maybe there is hope for me after all. He puts his beer bottle on the counter and turns back to the dance floor as a slow song starts. And that's my cue. See you around. I watch as he moves out to the dance floor. My brunette locks eyes with him, and the smile she gives me takes my breath away. I want her to smile at me that way. I want her to look at me the way she's looking at Liam, like he's the only man in the room. I watch as she slides her arms around his neck, and he puts his hands on her waist, sliding them over her ass, pulling her closer to him as he nuzzles her neck with his nose. Kai is prowling and snarling in my head, giving me a headache. Chase walks up with his arm around his girl du jour, and follows my line of sight. That her? With Alpha Liam?
He asks.
Yeah, apparently, she and Liam are close. I snarl in return. Chase gives me a questioning look, and I just shake my head. I'm in no mood to talk about it, especially since I really have no idea what is going on with me and Kai. They dance for several songs but continue slow dancing even when the music goes back to a faster pace. I can see them talking and flirting with each other, her hands in his hair, his nose sliding up and down her neck, and it's everything I can do not to growl so loud that I shake the foundation of this club. Eventually, he takes her hand and leads her off the dance floor. I watch as he starts to lead her out of the club. She's leaving with him. I start to follow after them, having no idea what I plan to do, when several of my warriors come up to me. Trevor, one of my best warriors, gets in my personal space. I am so not in the mood for this shit right now. Kai comes forward, and I know my eyes have darkened to sapphires. What the fuck, Alpha? Trevor says, and the others are nodding their heads. Chase pushes his girl away and steps up beside me, ready to take on a fight if that's what this is. What the fuck, Trevor? You want to explain yourself before I remind you of your place? Chase says to him. Dean, one of the guys I saw with my girl earlier, steps up. You really don't know who Cara Nelson is? He asks. I look at him as if he's lost his mind. Of course I know who Cara Nelson is. Everyone knows who Cara Nelson is. I say, taking a step forward and getting in his personal space. Another warrior speaks up. Then why did she tell Lacey that you have no idea who she is? And they all look at me expectantly. I have no idea. So you didn't ask her what her name was and what pack she's from while hitting on her? Trevor pushes. I stare at them. No. No. This can't be happening. I've never actually met Cara Nelson. What does she look like? I ask with a really bad feeling in my gut. Trevor looks at me. She's the one that just left with Alpha Liam. I feel my world tilt on its axis. Please tell me this isn't happening. My mystery girl, the one that didn't submit to me, the one that I completely insulted by not knowing who she was. She's the Broken Warrior's daughter. My guardian. Chapter 10. When I saw Alpha Rik heading toward the bar where I was standing, I immediately moved to go back to the dance floor. Right about that time, the DJ announced the dedication of Who Runs the World to me. All the warriors in my pack begin to cheer. Bastards. I know they did this on purpose to try and embarrass me. Joke's on them. I'm totally going to own it along with all the other female warriors. Lacey and I take the lead and rock the song. More and more girls join us, and it's total attitude until the song is done. Then, like the rock stars we are, we howl our dominance to our male counterparts. When I look up, I see Liam smiling at me. Oh goddess help me, that smolder. Good thing these jeans are dark because a line of heat just went straight south, and now there's most definitely a wet spot giving away my desire for that sexy man. I dance through another couple of fast songs, knowing Liam is waiting for the next slow song. As soon as it starts, he heads my way. The dancers make a path for him, and it's like no one else is in the room. I'm locked onto those sage green eyes. His are a much lighter shade than my own, but there's so much intensity in them that my heart starts to beat faster, and there's a flutter in my stomach. As he walks up to me, I slide my arms around his neck as he slides his down to my ass, pulling me closer and sniffing my neck. His mouth slides up to my ear and he whispers, "Hello, beautiful, still saving yourself for me?" I can't help the purr that escapes before I reel it in and give him my standard response. You know I'm saving myself for my mate. He pulls back enough to look me in the eye. Right, saving yourself for me, as I said. I can't help but laugh. Cocky alpha. He pulls me close again, and I close my eyes and just enjoy the feel of being in his arms. His smell, his strength, his witty humor, his undeniable sex appeal, everything about him attracts me to him. As we dance, he continues talking softly in my ear. You look hot as fuck, baby. Did you wear this for me? I lean back to look him in the eye, giving him my best smirk. Maybe. A soft growl rumbles in his chest, and damn, my little thong can't keep up with the river of warm wetness this man is causing to flow. He smiles, and I know he can feel my nipples harden against the vibration in his chest. Leaning in, he rubs his nose against mine. Someone seems to like the sound of my growl. Perhaps. I reply as I slide my fingers into the back of his sandy blonde hair that is also a few shades lighter than my own. He keeps it short because it's curly and becomes unruly when he lets it grow long. I love the thickness of his hair, even short, and I gently scratch my nails on his scalp. We're still swaying back and forth, not paying attention to the music at all, just lost in each other. I can feel his hard length pressed against me as we dance. I love the way you smell, but if you keep perfuming the air with your arousal, baby, I'm going to have to get you out of here. No one but me gets to smell that. I chuckle as I lean up to whisper in his ear. Well then, perhaps you should stop doing things that turn me on, Alpha. I intentionally call him Alpha instead of Liam, because I know it will get another growl out of him, and I'm not disappointed. This one is stronger and much more possessive. It's a tightrope that I walk with Liam. I don't want to tease him into thinking he'll get something from me that I'm not willing to give, but I also feel fairly confident that he'll be my mate. And he knows how I feel about waiting for my mate. Is he waiting for me? I don't ask, and we don't discuss it. But he's a 24-year-old alpha male. I'd be foolish to think that he is waiting to make sure that I'm his mate. But I also know that if I asked him to, he would. But that's not fair. So basically, all this teasing is just a really long bout of foreplay. The possessive growl has really got me turned on, and the heady scent of my arousal gets even stronger. Liam pulls my hands off his neck and gives me a smile. Don't say I didn't warn you, he says, and he leads me off the dance floor and to the entrance of the club. I smile and wave goodbye to my friends as we head out. Once outside, Liam puts his arm around me. Are you cold, baby? Normally, werewolves can handle the cold, but in my human form, I can only take so much, and it's the dead of winter. I am. A bit, but I'm okay until we get to the car. We get to his Ford Raptor, and he opens the door and lifts me up into the passenger seat. He leans over the seat, and I nuzzle my nose against his neck. His growl of pleasure vibrates against my nose and cheek, and he pulls a jacket from the back and lays it over top of me. Keep that up, love, and mate or no, you'll be in my bed tonight. He looks at me for a minute to see if I'm willing to keep going, which I'm not, so he gives me a quick kiss on the lips and closes my door. He jumps into the driver's seat, turning the car on and the heat to max. He looks over at me. Interested in getting a coffee? There's an all-night cafe not far from here. I look at him and smile. Absolutely. We get to the cafe, and there are only a few other people here at this time of night. We get a booth by a window, and Liam sits across from me. We order our coffee and Liam orders a steak and potatoes. I order a slice of apple pie, knowing Liam will help me eat that too. When the waitress is gone, he reaches out and takes my hands in his, looking at me intently. Tell me about your hopes and dreams, Cara.
Whoa.
That got intense fast. I look at him and smile. Feeling the need to deflect this conversation, I give a smart-ass response. Well, Liam, I like romantic dinners and walks on the beach. He rolls his eyes at me, but I continue. I also love a man that knows how to dance and appreciates a strong, intelligent woman. His answering smile could brighten a cloudy day. Then apparently, I'm the man for you. Our waitress returns with our coffee, and he releases my hands. When she leaves us again, he is looking down at his hands, folded together as he softly beats them against the table. He nods his head as if he's decided something, then looks up at me. Look, Cara, I know where you stand waiting for your mate, and I respect that. I want you to find your mate, and I hope to hell it's me. But I need you to know that if it isn't me, I want to take you as my chosen mate. I reach back out to take his hands, but before I can reply, he continues. I know I've told you this before, but I need you to know that I'm serious. If I'm not your fated mate, and if you don't find your fated mate, I really want you to consider taking me as your chosen mate. Hell, even if you find your fated mate and you can't stand him, I'm here and I'm willing. I can make you happy, Cara. You can have everything you want. And unlike most women who want the prestige of being a Luna, I know you want respect, to continue your warrior training, and to be treated as an equal by the alpha in the pack. I am not intimidated by your strength and ferocity. I find it incredibly sexy. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to protect you and our pups when we had them, but I also know that as a guardian and a powerful warrior, I wouldn't have to, that you could and would protect yourself and our pups. I would love you, put you first in my life. There would be no one for me but you. I know it's a lot, and you're still a couple months away from your birthday, but I need you to know that my feelings for you are real, that I want you in my life, for the rest of my life. I was overwhelmed by his declaration. Liam, I didn't know what to say. I don't expect you to say anything. I just want to lay it out there, so you know how I feel. The waitress returns with Liam's food and my dessert. I watch as he starts cutting into his steak. Liam, I care for you very deeply. I hope, with all my heart, that you are my fated mate. But if you are not, I will take what you have said tonight into consideration, I promise. His smile lights up the room once again. That's all I ask, Cara. I smile back and take a bite of my apple pie. It's delicious, and without realizing what I'm doing, my eyes have closed, my head is tilted back slightly, and I'm moaning softly as I chew the delicious taste of apples, cinnamon, and pastry dough. When I open my eyes, I see that Liam is staring at me, his food stopped halfway to his mouth. His eyes have gone nearly black, and I see his Adam's apple bob before he says, Cara, I seriously hope that one day, I am the one causing you to make those sounds. And if I get that chance, I promise, that will just be the beginning. I won't stop until your throat is raw from screaming my name in pleasure, and your body is sore from me taking you over and over until both of us are satisfied. I blush as he gives me a smirk and puts the steak into his mouth, watching me blush even more as I can only imagine what thoughts are causing that possessive, hungry look in his eyes. After we finish eating, he drives me home. He gets out of the car and comes around to open my door. As I step out, his head whips toward the forest. I follow his line of sight, but don't see anything. What is it? He shakes his head, squinting. Nothing. He walks me to my door. I turn to look at him, and he wraps his arms around me, pulling me into his warmth. Remember what I said tonight, Cara. I meant every word. He puts his hands on either side of my face and brings his lips to mine. It starts out as a gentle kiss, a promise of what could be. But it quickly turns into something much more passionate, and before I know it, Aretmus has pushed forward, and I'm drowning in him. His mouth is everywhere, claiming mine. His warm tongue skillfully slides into my mouth, tangling with mine, fighting for dominance. When he wins the battle, he takes his time exploring the rest of my mouth before finally letting me come up for air. I'm panting and holding on to him as if he is my lifeline. And he is, because my knees are weak, and I'd fall if his strong arms weren't holding me up. I look up into his eyes, that have gone dark again, showing that his wolf is forward. I know mine are also glowing gold from Artemis pushing forward. Artemis purrs to Liam's wolf. Hello, Cara. He growls in response. Artemis. Cara's voice is deeper and more gravelly than Liam's. He has a sexy alpha voice, Artemis says to me. I pull her back and regain control, seeing that Liam is doing the same with Cara. He leans his forehead against mine. Baby, one day soon, I hope that we can continue this until both of us are satisfied. Until then, sweet dreams, and I hope they are of me. He pulls away from me and winks as he walks backward to his car. When he gets to the driver's side, I blow him a kiss. He makes a catching grab with his hand and pulls it to his heart. Damn, talk about a man that can make a girl swoon. I wave and head inside as he pulls away. In the distance, I hear a wolf howling into the night.